Guys, what's up? What's up? I'm eating from the pot. Yes, I am eating from the pot, man. So it's been a while since we've done this open Q&A. So remember, guys, we talk football a lot, but this is a chance to for you to ask me anything, as long as it has nothing to do with football. Ask me anything. We know we have the hangouts, we have all this other stuff, but this is a separate place where any questions you have, any views you have on anything, any single thing, as long as it's not football, this is where it is at, man. So, let's talk politics, religion, sex, family, future, films, movies. I mean, I love films, movies. Anything about films and movies, I am game. Superheroes, Snyder, anything, makeup, anything, bro. So, so, um, coming to America, coming to America. That film was a pile of trash, a complete pile of trash. And see, I'll keep it real with you, Mikey. I shout out to Mike because I think you are definitely a film guy. So here's the thing, bro. Coming to America was never my favorite Eddie Murphy film. My favorite Eddie Murphy film is Golden Child. That is my favorite Eddie Murphy film. That film is a gem. But obviously, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, Nutty Professor 1, um, um, 48 Hours. Like 48 Hours is a very good film. The one with Nick Nolte, very good film. So, but no, but the thing about Coming to America, Eddie Murphy wasn't the funniest person in Coming to America. The funniest person in Coming to America was Arsenio Hall and the people that Eddie Murphy plays. So Akeem, the main character, wasn't that funny. It's the guys that he played at the guys at the barbershop, secretary, those guys were the funny ones. But the story was cool. You didn't need to have a sequel of Coming to America. The whole point of Coming to America is this guy from this country with this tradition going to another country because he wants to feel free and so forth. Now merging with that tradition and is now sort of about his family, allowing their son to be who he wants to be and choose he wants to love. Like, you shouldn't allow tradition or culture to restrict what your child wants. This Coming to America, it's literally just guys having fun. That's what it is. There wasn't a compelling story. You have these young guys coming through. There's a freaking rap track. And it was the perfect example of waiting too long after original film and just cashing in to try and just be cool. But it was trash, man. It was trash. It was trash. I mean, a few funny things here and there, but it was ultimately trash, man. Ultimately trash. Favorite Netflix show? Netflix. The key thing is Netflix. Now, he may be, this may be politically incorrect, he may be a bit crazy now. House of Cards. House of Cards was T1. House of Cards was freaking amazing. Having Space's acting, the directing, the storytelling, all that stuff. House of Cards was freaking amazing. So apart from that, actually, you know what? I want to finish Wu Assassins because I watched the first episode of Wu Assassins with them, the guys from the raid. Well, Iko Uwais, because Joe Taslim isn't in it, but Iko Uwais, who is the star of the raid, is in this thing called Wu Assassins. So, because they know they're making a film of it. I watched the first episode, but I didn't finish it. So so my next TV show I'm going to watch is, I want to finish off Wu Assassins. But apart from that, everything else is not Netflix owned. So for instance, like Homeland, which is really good. Homeland isn't Netflix owned. They just got it from Netflix. So that's not a Netflix original TV show. Um, the UK Office, which I love and I watch all the time. Again, that's not Netflix owned, but parts of Netflix owned, yeah, House of Cards. This is definitely the one. So, has Eddie Murphy lost his touch, or is there still a bit of hope? Um, Here's the thing. With regards to film, I think he may have lost his touch. Keep it in a stack. Because even Dolomite, the film he brought up before, the jokes just were not hitting. Like, if you, okay, who's a, but here's the real thing though. Who would you say is the best comedic actor right now? There isn't one. Because Dave Chappelle does stand up. Most of the guys do stand up. Kevin Hart sure as heck ain't funny. I tell you that right now. So there isn't actually, because see, Eddie Murphy was so unique. There's never actually been anybody since Eddie Murphy who was amazing at stand-up and produced also amazing and was produced amazing films. Like, at a point, Eddie Murphy was the biggest star in the world. But like how many good Dave Chappelle films are there? Amazing at stand-up, but how many good films are there? So yeah, man, I just think for Eddie Murphy, I know he's working on a Netflix special. So I want to see what he does in his Netflix special and see what he does. Because, like, the world has moved on. Like, the jokes you may crack in the 80s or so forth don't really land in today's world. You see, because hence why it would be interesting to see what he does in his stand-up. Like, how do you talk about the PC world? Because remember, back in the 80s, he was politically incorrect. I mean, he could say anything, because in the 80s and 90s, we didn't live in this PC world. So how would he be able to navigate around, okay, don't say anything against women, don't say anything against gay people, don't say anything against that, if you say anything, the LGBTQ diversity thing, like because now, like, that's why people say comedy is hard, because there are so many groups you can't offend, and if he says, oh my gosh, Broom, you're cancelled, so how can you do that? Out of all the new upcoming MC projects, what are you most looking forward to? Oh my god. You know what? Be fair. I haven't seen Nomadland, and I'm not sure whether I want to watch it. But I can already tell that might be interesting. Just watching the trailer for Nomadland, again, it's not my kind of film, but just watching it's visually, I think what Chloe Zhao could do with Eternals, that could be something interesting. Sort of how Guardians of the Galaxy seemed a bit separate from everything else. I think Eternals might be something separate. Thor looks like a complete pile of dog trash. Absolute dog trash. Thor is supposed to be this huge, massive, magnanimous character, and they're treating him like he's a bitch. They made him a bitch in his own film. My friend, good friend who I've known my whole life, huge Thor fan, collects Thor comics and so forth. I always keep messaging him saying, bro, man, look at what they've done to your character. And for me, he's just like, man, they've completely screwed up his character. So, Black Widow, because I told you I didn't really like WandaVision. For me, Falcon and Winter Soldier is cool, but he was cooler in the films. Falcon is trash. No one cares about Falcon. Falcon, you are a sidekick to Captain America. Get your freaking paws off that shield. You don't own that shield. That shield is Cap's shield. It's freaking Steve Rogers' shield. But here's the thing, though. X-Men. That is the key thing. That's it. For me, that MCU will live or die by how they cast X-Men. No one cares about Fantastic Four. No one cares about Fantastic Four. X-Men is the key thing. If these guys can get X-Men right, they cast it well. They cast Storm well and Cyclops. Please, can I have a short Wolverine? Can I have a tall and graceful Storm who has aura? Can I have a leadership type, strong character of Cyclops? When you do the X-Men, the leaders are Cyclops and Storm. Not Wolverine, Cyclops and Storm. Wolverine is a freaking outsider. Okay? So that's my key thing there is what they do with X-Men. And Let's see what Eternals are doing, man. Favorite cake? Coffee. Coffee. I used to be into lemon cake, but coffee, like coffee colored and coffee flavored cake, coffee or carrots, coffee or carrot cake, man. Those are my ones, man. Um, what do you expect from the new Batman film? The the costume is horrible, horrible costume. But I think we're gonna get better action. We're gonna get, and I think hopefully we're gonna get perhaps more of a detective. You see, Nolan promised that in Dark Knight, but we didn't get that. Okay, we just got some trash afterwards. Um, so Nolan, he promised that we didn't get in that, and in the first Batman, we sort of got it a little bit in the first film, but not that much. So I think we're gonna get, because the key thing here is Riddler. So with the Riddler being the villain, it has to be okay. You're now detecting and finding out clues and finding out how to break him down, because we've never had a serious Riddler in a film. Like the Riddler in the Batman TV show in the 60s was a freaking clown. The Riddler, although he was funny, the Riddler in Batman Forever was clownish as well. So you couldn't even take that seriously. So it's like don't really know what to say, man. Um, James, you are dealing with the ultimate film merchants, bro. You're dealing with the ultimate film merchants, so don't come on, man. Don't mess with your boy. I watched Lawrence of Arabia when I first watched Lawrence of Arabia when I was about 6 or 7, when I was living in Nigeria. It's one of the greatest films of all time. When you think epic, people say, when you think epic, you think Lord of the Rings. When you think epic, Lawrence of Arabia. That film is so long. There's an interlude, so it's 4 hours. The film is, I think, is like it's approaching 4 hours, and it's based on a true story. Amazing film, amazing film, man. Amazing film. Um, do you believe in ghosts, HH? I don't want to believe in ghosts. So whether I believe in ghosts, I don't want to. Many people have talked about ghosts, and there are times when, okay, I do ghosts real, but I don't want to blame it in my stuff. But here's my theory, though. I believe that ghosts are just your mind wanting to believe in them. And I think that if people do it, you can explain that, oh, maybe it was because your mind can play tricks on you. So you can see things and perceive things that may seem to be like a ghost, but when you actually get down to it, it's probably not a ghost. So for me, I do think that there's an explanation as to whether there are ghosts or not, and I don't think it's as simple as, oh yeah, here are ghosts and everything. No. So no. Did people forget that? Yes, I think they did, because, but see, luckily for me, my Japanese friend showed me Battle Royale, like when it came out back in, was it 2001? So I knew already from back when. But so when I saw the trailer with that brick, Class B brick, Jennifer Lawrence, I was like, this is a ripoff. And it was. Because Battle Royale is a freaking amazing film. Because Battle Royale is an amazing concept, a great plot, executed beautifully well. Where, remember, we watched it when we were in school. So after we watched Battle Royale, we said, man, imagine if we were all given all these weapons and stuff. Like, who would trust who? Who would be with who? So it's the perfect film to watch while you're in school. Because you're like, man, I know he would do this, I know he would do that, I know he would do that. So, brilliant film. Absolutely amazing film, man. Absolutely amazing film. Um, um, all right, what are you guys saying? Why are most kids trash nowadays? Um, well, when you say that they're trash, every era moves on and has their own aesthetic. So I think that, like, for instance, like I go around and I see like a 10-year-old kid with a mobile phone. I'm like, damn. Because like when we were young, mobile phones didn't exist, so you had to go out. So when I think of mobile phones, I think of Xbox Live, PlayStation Online, online gaming. A lot of these kids now, they don't even have to leave their house and so forth. They can pretty much do everything via their phone or from their computer. So there's lots of this interaction. So for me, I just think that, kids and so forth, they are at the behest of where society is right now. You know? So, like for instance, a generation of kids had pagers. Then the next generation had Blackberries. Then the next generation had mobile phones. The next generation now had like smartphones and so forth. So whatever the new technology is, boom, people will not get into it. But I just think that with all this technology coming in through it, I do feel that there's less face-to-face interaction, you know. Because I remember I seen this last time, like, you now go to a club, everybody's like is on their phone, boom, 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 boom. But back in the 90s, before all those phones, if you go to a club, you have to dance. You have to move around because there is nothing else to distract you. But the phone is such a great, amazing distraction just to sit in a corner and just do nothing. So it's all about tech and everything, man. And I was not an annoying kid, man. All right. Um, Angelina Jolie has entered Marvel with Eternals. What does this now mean for where Marvel is headed? Have they lost their brand with unknowns that were good character acts and cheated? Um. Oh, you see, for me, look, I think like Angelina, she's not a bad actress. Remember, she is the son of John Voight, an amazing actor, one of a brilliant actor. But I did find it weird that I'm like, why are you? But you have to go with where things are headed. It's Todd Phillips. Speaking of which, finally, I don't know why it took me this long. I finally bought myself the Joker on Blu-ray. So I'm going to watch that tomorrow, man. Because it's funny, like the Joker, it came out on my birthday. Amazing birthday present. So the thing about it is, so you look at Todd Phillips and that Joker film. See, Todd Phillips said, look, I can only get a film made if I do this whole superhero stuff, but I don't want to do a superhero thing. Hence why he made Joker, which has nothing to do with the DCE or whatever. He just wanted to do his thing. So I think the reality is you have to play the game, which is that in vogue thing is superhero movies. I've heard that Al Pacino might be in one of these Marvel movies. So you're like, either you get with a superhero movie and do that stuff, or it's going to be hard to be given work because all of the guys are now putting and giving roles to the younger people. So, and if you have someone like Angelina there, are you going to say no? I mean, I would say no, but thoughts on WWF now? I don't know what WWF. Garbage trash. Complete trash. A few gems here and there, but garbage trash. But you know what I always say? I don't blame it on Vince McMahon. Wrestling is one of the great triumphs, I think, in history. But Vince McMahon will always create something that reflects the society. Back in the early 90s, it was cheesy. It was about heroes. It was about good and evil. So Hulk Hogan worked very, very well. And also, you have to think about the kinds of films that were out in the early 90s. Late 90s, you had edgier movies. You had more artistic films. And the line between good and evil was blurred. Hence why it made sense to bring in the Attitude Era. Hence why WCW did so well, because WCW was darker and edgier, because society was a lot edgier, was more imaginative, much more creative. But you look at society now, what can you say? what can you say? It's like, and I look at the roster of the wrestlers right now, and nobody's interested. So I think it's just about society, people, and how interesting the society is. And society just is not enough resting. It's just not enough interesting right now. Um, can men and women be friends? Yes, but it can always be complicated. They can always be complicated because here's the thing: you ask yourself this question: if you're a guy, can you be really good friends, and can you just be friends with a woman you find attractive? Now, a woman who you don't find attractive, of course you can be friends with her and so forth. Because you're just not, yeah, I'm not attractive. I'm not sexually attracted to you. So, hey, me and you, we can be cool and so forth, man. But if you really find this woman attractive, as in you're really sexually attracted to her, you can start off being friends to begin with. But eventually there will come that point where it's like, oh. So for me, yes, men and women can be friends. But if you are friends with a woman who you find attractive, on one hand, you can be friends with them, but on another hand, it will be very hard, and there will be a situation or a moment where you now almost have that decision to make as to, my gosh, is it cool whether we're friends, or could this perhaps be something more? And that is where that friendship now gets destroyed, where one says, no, look, I just want to be friends. I don't want anything more. But for guys, if there are people women who we may be attracted to you, friends, but if we're friends and more time goes and now more attracted to you much more on a physical, deeper level, then you can't just be friends. You're now going to decide either we want to take it to the next step, or we may not be able to be just friends and cool anymore. So, live hard and die. Thank you for the dub. Thank you for the dub. Live hard, baby. Live hard. You don't need to die. Live hard. Thank you for the dub. It's unbelievable to think the best players at Chelsea are the wingers. But this German still plays 3-4-2 with a non-scoring Werner. Baby, please. Well, live hard. Thank you for the dub. Remember, this is a non-football thing. This is a non-football live thing. But since you sent in the dub, I'll give you the answer to that. Are the best players at Chelsea wingers? I don't think they are. Chelsea's best player is Kovacic. And beyond there, then you have to look at Kante. Chelsea's best players they're not the wingers. You say their best players. The good players are wingers. Chelsea's best player is Kovacic. Chelsea's best performer is Mount. Both of those players are central players. So if Chelsea don't have an amazing inside forward, you can't play a formation that now pertains and focuses on the wingers. I'm sorry, Chelsea's best players are their central players. Kante, Kovacic, and their best performer right now is Lionel Mount. But thank you for the dub, man. Thank you for the dub. Thank you for the dub. Do you think the Royal family works hard? No. The Royal family are a group of people born into privilege. England is a country that loves privilege. England is a country that loves class. England is a country that beats down, pisses on people who are poor or less fortunate. England is a country where the posh and the upper class and so forth are always going to be given those certain advances. So I am vehemently against all concepts of the royal family, because I said even I ain't bowing to an elderly lady with a crown. So maybe they work hard, but in my view, why would they need to work hard? They have servants, they have workers, they have guys that do stuff for them. So all they have to do is be driven around, make a speech here, make a speech there, and keep it moving. So for me, I say with the royal family is completely and utterly irrelevant to me. In 2021, I don't want to give a damn about if any of that answers, man. President. because they can be held accountable. King and princess, that is a olden day archaic view, because you can't criticize a king and a princess. If you were found to say anything against a king or queen, you'd have your head cut off. You would be executed, because the whole point of a king and princess is that they can't be critiqued. They can't be aggregated, because the king and prince normally always have the army with them. So if they feel anybody is saying thing against them, you get screwed. Like homeboy, the Tsar the second of what's it called, Russia. Presidents, you are employed to serve the people, and you have a duty to ensure people's things are met. And for a president, you expect to be critiqued, you expect to be criticized, and you expect to be abused. It's all part of the job, especially if you're a president. So let's say you're a president who has left-sided views or views of the right. You know that, bro, if a fellow president calls me a piece of crap, I can say, you call me a piece of crap, yo, hunt him down. Because if you do that, then you're a dictator or a king or a queen, So I can't live in a country or a place where I cannot criticize the leader. So if you're saying that, okay, I can't call the queen a loser, I can't call the king a loser, I can't criticize them. Nah, man, that's bullcrap, bro. That's completely not a bullcrap. They live in a so-called kingdom. It sucks. They're basically above the law, and sometimes. And I think this is the issue about, and then this is the problem with humanity and society. Like a lot of human beings, they feel that human beings always have this tendency to create things that they can't attain. Things, or create concepts that are better than them that they can't reach. Because my thing is that why would you have a group of people that are above the law that can't be reprimanded? That makes no sense. But society has this desire of creating these infallible, these untouchable things, these untouchable concepts, which I just think is complete and utter bullcrap. Is complete and utter bullcrap. Like nobody should be above the law. Nobody. Like, why are you better than me? Now, told you, what's it called? Messi is a better football player than me. Of course he is. Federer is a better tennis player than me. Of course he is. Denzel Washington is a better actor than me. Of course he is. These things are real. What makes the king or queen better than me? You're better than me at what? So all because you were born, you're better than me? No. What talent do you have? And are you better than me at that talent? So, yeah. Opinions on the far left. I put out this tweet. This is the tweet that I put out. And this is something that I don't understand from people. Being an extreme of anything is stupid. Is dumb. It's dumb. Not every situation calls for you to have a leftist solution or a solution for the far right. So people who are far left and so forth, do you have these views for every single situation? So, for instance, someone who is far left will say, you should teach about, you should teach young kids about, let's say, transgender sex. People say, oh, no. We're all free. Everybody can be whatever they want to be. And if you're transgender, you should be able to teach about transgender sex to 5-year-olds and 4-year-olds. Or someone follows me will say, somebody who is poor, let's give all the money to poor people and so forth. Poor people should be able to get grants and get free salaries and so forth. But what if these poor people are lazy? They don't want to work and they just take advantage, just take these free handouts and they don't do anything in return. Oh, well, we should help everybody because everybody deserves to be helped and so forth. We should all be one. I mean, so hence why it's like, there are sometimes where I am liberal, sometimes where I am conservative. So I would say the key to life is a balance. The key to life is a balance. But the issue with people is that everybody wants to be tribal. People love to be tribal. That, yeah, we are here, we are that, and this is what we always believe in, and will always be for this, we'll always be against this. Rather, no. Apply your brain, use your brain, and apply it to different situations. Different situations require a different way and a different resolution and a different solution, but people don't want that. People don't really care about trying to make the right decision. All they care about is making a decision that coincides with the tribe that they're in, because people are tribal merchants, man. How much do you care about the English Queen and the rest of the royalty? Zero, nothing. I don't. I care zero. Is it as a percentage? 0%. Never cared, and I never will. Because just because I told you, I have been to school in England here for 7 years. And being to school here for 7 years, it just teaches you some things, particularly with how people in the royal family and so forth operate. Like what's it called? A guy who I went to school with, who was in my year, actually knows the Kate Princess chick. She knew that. I mean, he knew that chick when she was just like a regular chick. So it's like, I know these kinds of people, and these kinds of people, I'm like, yeah, why are you special? Why are you special? That's you can't just be born to be better than someone. You have to prove why you're better than someone. And my issue with royalty and queens is I have to now bow down to you and view you as being better than me because you were just born into a family that did whatsoever. But you yourself haven't actually done anything. Like if I see Girl, I'm like, bro, you are an amazing actor. Dub. J.K. Rowling, you're an amazing writer. Dub. Serena, you're an amazing tennis player. Dub. But for these royalty people, wait, why are you so? Why the hell are you so special? And what makes you better than me? That's all I want to know. If I just see the queen or any royalty, I say, what makes you better than me? Why should I treat you with such reverence? For what reason? So yeah, man. F that. Why do people worship politicians? If a politician represents your viewpoint and they are in a place of authority, it plays into like the kind of finance you have. So let's, for example, Obama. So you're black, you suffer racism, you get told that black people cannot be anything and so forth. And then you have somebody who looks like you, who is in this position of power and is sort of saying the kinds of things that you believe in. Naturally, you want to worship because as a society, the 99%, it's always good, the 99% love to worship. I told you, an atheist who says, oh my gosh, I'm not an atheist. No. But you worship that phone that you have. You worship that celebrity that you keep on liking their videos on Instagram or watching their thing on YouTube. Every different kinds of people have a different form of worship. Worship doesn't only have to pertain to religion. You can worship politicians, you can worship a celebrity, you can worship a computer device. I just think that the 99% just have this kind of tendency to want to worship, Um, oh, oh. Huh. Now, this is interesting. Would you prefer to live in the US than the UK? No, no. So I have an uncle who lives in Atlanta, you know. So, and I think that's the only place I've been to in America. I've been to Atlanta twice. America is a place where I would love to visit, you know, and I think there are amazing things about America. But America is a place where I'd like to go a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then come out. Um, the thing about the UK is this: the UK, it's not as popping and thingy as the US. But the thing about English people in England is sensible. I think in America, as amazing as America is with things like Hollywood, the entertainment, and what you can achieve, there are a lot of pretty crazy people in America. And when you just see some of the videos and things that happen in America, these guys are pretty crazy. You know, you get some crazy people in England, but not to the same degree. I think in Nigeria, English people are a bit more sensible. But I just think that, like for instance, I'll probably there's a better chance of me getting along with Americans than English because my personality and how I express myself and so forth, I think would work much more amongst American and American culture than it would with English people and the English culture because English people are very conservative, stiff upper lip, and they don't tend to express themselves. English people are very much always behind a veil, you know. But what I always say is that there are two countries. There is England and then there's London. Or you could say there's London, Bristol, Birmingham, and the rest of England. So you see, people who don't live in London hate London, you know. And people like me who live in London, I hate the countryside and places outside of London because the beauty about London is it's an amazing city because you have all these different kinds of cultures. I mean, you have the Italian culture, you have the West African culture, you have the Middle Eastern culture, you have the Chinese culture, you have the Brazilian. There's so many different pockets of so many different cultures here. It really feels as if you're like in this globe. It doesn't feel like if you're in England. It just feels like if, wow, you're just in a city filled with different cultures and so forth, which is what people say is similar to New York. Hence, where you have people, because I know people who live in New York and LA, and there are people who say they prefer to live in New York than they do in LA. So, do you think Jake Gyllenhaal fell off? No. It's funny. I watched Zodiac about a few days ago. Zodiac is a quality movie. Really, really good film. And I think, but the first film I saw of Jake Gyllenhaal was like, wow, was Nightcrawler. Great film and superb performance. How he wasn't nominated for that is insane. Because obviously he did the whole MCU thing. And this is the annoying thing. He would have made a really, really, really good villain. A really good villain. You know. But they just screwed him off. But you know what I always said? He would have made a quality Batman. Because especially when you watch Nightcrawler and so forth, you're like, man, this guy would make a quality Batman, specifically a more serious, edgier Batman. He'd make an amazing Batman. Absolutely amazing, you know. Like his Bruce Wayne would be so... Because look, I mean, Robert Pattinson is cool, but if it's between Pattinson and Gyllenhaal would be that good. But I think it's also about finding material, but he's still in there. He's still there, man. He's still there. Favorite stop motion film? There are a few, bro. Actually, no, I do really like. Actually, no, that's not stop motion, is it? Actually, yeah. Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, Vincent is pretty good as well. And there's this film, I think it's called Eight or something, which is also pretty cool. This was from back then. There was this olden days film. I think it was about the Pied Piper of Hamlin, but was pretty creepy. That was pretty creepy. But that was pretty imaginative. But yeah, if I had to pick a favorite, I would say yeah. I don't even know what it was. Nightmare Before Christmas. So Um, let's see. Um, all right. Thoughts on the Spider-Verse movie? I won't. Okay, I need to watch it again. I need to watch it again. The thing about it is, I might be the only person who didn't like it. Almost everybody I've spoken to loves that movie. I am the only person that didn't like the film, and I think here's the thing. Maybe it's just me being a bit too traditional and me not really caring about Miles Morales. Like the film, in terms of creatively and its animation and so forth, is great. But just make a Spider-Man film. Like just make a Spider-Man film with Peter Parker and so forth. Like why is that so hard to do? Just make a film with Peter Parker. Too many Spider-Man people not a fan of Miles Morales. So just from a Spider-Man fan's point of view, it wasn't my thing. But I do have to give it a dub in terms of it's very well made. So I'll give it that. It's a very well made film, but just not my forte. Um, all right. The heck? All right, man. Wait, do you like films more than football or vice versa? Or are they both equal to you? Exactly equal. Exactly equal. Like, there are, like, I have two main passions in life: football and film. Those are the two things that I would like to say that I have pretty good knowledge in. So for me, exactly the same. Like the passion I have for football is the same passion I have for film. Like I could easily watch 3, 4 films back to back. There are films that I've watched, like the first Batman film I watched about 50, 60, 70 times. I watched The Matrix Reloaded 6.5 times in the cinema. So and every single time, like, I'll go into IMDb and just boom, and just browse. And it could be because when I was young, all I used to do was I would just watch films. I'd watch like 3, 4, 5, 6 films a day. I'd watch film about 30, 40 times. So, but same thing with football, like, as well, like football, playing the games, playing football, watching football, getting magazines. So both exactly the same. Nothing is more than nothing. Both exactly the same, man. Um, ah, I've seen Upgrade. I didn't like Venom. I didn't like, and I'm a huge fan of Tom Hardy. I did not like Venom, man. But I am Upgrade was a very good film. That was a really good film because I think that actor was in Prometheus. I think Upgrade was a really good film, man. Because people were like, because whenever people hype a film, you're like, what? But when I watched it, I was like, oh man, like again, good concept, good log line, executed well. I really like Upgrade, man. That was a good film, man. And the fightings as well, very good action, man. Um, why are you so hateful against Chris Nolan's Batman movies? It's funny. I was watching Jodie's Corner yesterday, and there's a guy that echoed my very views. Here's the thing about his Batman films. So you take Batman Begins. Begins for me had some amazing moments in that film. And for me, it's the best out of all three. Easily. Begins is easily the best out of all three. It has some great moments. But I think once Batman got to Gotham, that's when the film sort of... and then when you brought in the whole thing with the emitter, and the biggest thing, the action scenes were just horribly filmed. But I thought it was a great platform to now take things to the next level. So it was good enough to be a first entry in an amazing trilogy. But what I found in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises is Nolan never really understood Batman. He never really cared about Batman, which is why Dark Knight, the star of The Dark Knight is the Joker. The star of The Rises is Bane. Batman was put, pun intended, was put back in the shadows. So if you're making a Batman film, you have to care about the character and you've got to understand the character. Because when you look at Tim Burton, in both of those films, Batman was interesting. Even in Batman Returns, where he wasn't really as prominent, whenever you saw him visually, the aura that he had, what he looked like, what you felt like whenever you saw him, and even the world that they built, it was like, wow, this feels like a guy who really cares about it, because Tim Burton connected with the character and brought himself into the character before. Like, if you watch Dark Knight, that could just easily be like a regular film that just happens to have Batman in it, you know? Like, the films are just void of any kind of unique personalities. Oh, there's just some crimes special spy film, man. So yeah, man, nah. Like, see, Darkness for me was, it's just all about the Joker. It's very well made, but Batman was a sideshow. I hated Rises. I hated that movie, man, with a passion, man. Freaking hated the movie, man. All right. Latsa, I will see you tonight on the Hangouts. We've got things to discuss. I'll see you tonight on the Hangouts, man. I need, basically, because I get the books from Amazon, but they were out of stock on the next few volumes, so I need to wait. I need to wait on the next few volumes of that, But yeah, I am still reading. Just as Amazon were out of stock with the volumes that I wanted, man. Thoughts on Children of Men? Very good film. Really, really good story. Really good story, because it's been a while since I've watched it, but I remember there was one really good sequence that they had where they just sort of tracked I think Clive Owen and the leading lady, like, I think across the Lagos or something. But like, I just remember that the filmmaking was insane. It was insane filmmaking, but also the story was amazing, like, where no children can be built, and like, this is the only woman who is left, and she's pregnant. So it's like, wow, man, jeez, this is a special thing. But very, very interesting story and idea. Jared Leto needs to give it a rest. You can't stop working or Heath. Jared Leto is annoying because Jared Leto thinks he's this amazing, superb actor, and what is more annoying is people big him up and egg him on like he's this big time amazing actor when he isn't. He not great. And yeah, he can't top. Especially seeing that clip that we got from that Snyder Fest. He ain't coming close to Joaquin and Heath. Do you know what Joaquin and Heath did in their films? Come on, bro. Yeah, so Hancock. Good idea for a film. I hated the ending. Like, the first third of the film was cool. So, oh wow, this is a different kind of hero. Then it just became a standard superhero movie. I was like, okay, well, whatsoever, man. So, anime or cartoons? Depends. Each have their strength. I think because I've grown up in like kind of Western society, if a cartoon gets it right, that's something that I can really sort of, connect with. So for instance, like, you look at something like Basil the Grey Master Detective, that's amazing. And that's something I can watch several times and really, really find funny. But I think anime take more risks, and anime are much more imaginative and creative. Like, you look at Ninja Scroll, look at Akira, you look at One Punch Man, you look at Death Note, you would never get those stuff in the West, because I just think in anime you see guys push the envelope a lot more. But I think as of now, I'll probably try and look at and check out an anime right now, because cartoons right now are trash. Like the heydays of Cartoon Network and so forth. All those days are now gone. Like the cartoons, like for kids, what's good cartoon? Like SpongeBob is overrated, man. I tried watching SpongeBob, I was like, nah. Simpsons has been trash for like the last 10 years. How these guys are still going on? It's like the last Simpsons was last truly funny and relevant back in the mid 90s. Since the mid 90s, Simpsons hasn't been that great, you know. And I thought that I would never say that, man. So, um, all right. Who's a stronger character, Thor or Captain Marvel? Captain Marvel. Because you're dealing with somebody who can do stuff in space. So even if Thor has Mjolnir, Captain Marvel is dealing with full on supernova powers, man. So, and my thing is this for Thor, if you're struggling to defeat freaking, Thanos without any Infinity Stones, how strong are you really? Thor and Hulk are both bricks. They're both bricks. Captain America took your freaking hammer and put up a better fight against Thanos than you did with that same hammer. Thor is garbage, gutter trash crap. He's useless. The guy is freaking useless, man. Um, all right. Oh yeah, I think some guys wanted to ask me about. Yeah, so I saw the new images of Space Jam 2. Interesting, but I need to see a trailer. But I think what they said is, which is why I think because I think Space Jam it was hand drawn, and I think they're now going with 3D animation in this, which is okay. I would prefer it to be hand drawn, but I need to see a trailer because seeing images doesn't give you the kind of feel of how the film will be. So once we see that first trailer, like boom. But one thing I will say though is what this already has over the first film is LeBron is a far better actor than Jordan. Like MJ is the guy can't act. It's just like, oh, it's MJ. I think LeBron, because he has much more of a personality and so forth, I think that is a one-up that they will have. But my thing is, because look, man, like Bill Murray was hilarious in our first film. So my thing is, who are the guys they will bring in to feature in it, and what will the story be? Or is the story going to be they now have to go to the monsters planet and maybe play? Because I think they've had the game on Earth. So, and also the soundtrack has got to be popping, man. So what made you stop watching WWF? I remember the moment. So this is when the WWF, because remember, I used to be watching it everything like, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. And this is when they were doing loads and loads of skits, like loads of these skits and so forth. I remember there was one skit that they did with Mark Henry where it was some kind of weird wedding thing or something. And this thing was so way over the top and stuff. I said, okay, you know what? Half up. I think it's time. Because I was getting near, but there just needed to be something. I think that was the last straw. Like there was just a skit that just came across as so stupid and so over the top that I was like, all right, cool, I'm done. And I was like, you know what? That's it. That is me and wrestle. Because before then I was every single WrestleMania, every single Royal Rumble, and I would be staying up at for 1 a.m. for all of these events, But I always say to people like, if Vince McMahon hadn't interfered, WCW could have been pretty crazy. Because WCW was so different from WWF, which is what made it amazing. And I remember, I was living in Geneva, like me and my Australian friend called Scott. We were massive WCW fans, huge. So every time we were in school, we'd basically, do like all the moves and wrestling moves, but yeah, we were huge WCW fans, man. Yeah, that was the thing, man. It made Bonnie look like a heroin addict, man. All right, so last 3 minutes, guys. Last 3 minutes before I need to rest and gear up for Our CL talk, man. One thing about, you see, nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. That's Hulk. They made Hulk a freaking loser. First of all, you get castrated and circumcised and colonized by Thanos. You've got to have your revenge. So this guy got totally beat down by Thanos, destroyed by Thanos, and this guy, he never got his revenge. Instead, he ended up becoming like scientist Hulk and so forth. Hulk was, if you're a Hulk fan, you must feel sick. If you're a Hulk fan or you're a Thor fan, you must feel sick because they made Hulk and Thor stupid. But do you know why it doesn't matter? Because of Taika Waititi's stupid ass, dumb ass film that made Thor and Hulk freaking jokes and comedy acts. You're dealing with Hulk. You're dealing with a guy called Hulk Smash, and you're making him like, oh, stupid, man. Favorite anime? If it counts, I have got to say it's a tie between Legend of Aang and One Punch Man. Yeah. But if I had to choose, One Punch Man is freaking amazing. Like One Punch Man is like that's something that once we're like I should even just get it on DVD. Like that's first season of One Punch Man. Like because whenever you are laughing out loud, for instance, I'm watching and Coming to America. At no point did I laugh out loud. Maybe at one point, but only. Several times from that first season, I'm like laughing my face off, laughing out loud and having to run. But that One Punch Man was on that. Like, because it's my kind of comedy, because my kind of comedy is sort of, you're comedy at a whole alternative way. So, I love that shit. I love that shit. All right. Let's see. Maybe one more cue and then I'll be out of here, man. One more cue and I'll be out of here. One more cue. Okay, this is a good one. Is anime more popular than live action? Which do you prefer more? Live action is a lot more popular for sure, and I think hence why people are keep pushing to get an Akira live action film. Which do I prefer more? It depends. It depends. Something like Akira. I don't want to see a live action for Akira. There's no point. But a film like Seven or Shawshank Redemption or Lawrence of Arabia, I don't need to see an anime of those films. Certain things work for the medium that they're in. Akira is too crazy, too wild, too visual, too effed up, too mind-boggling to even begin to make a film of it. Like the things depicted in Akira, you can't depict those things in live-action film. It's impossible. Like we were watching Spirited Away like last week. How the hell do you make a film of Spirited Away? Because the stuff, the world that's being created and so forth is so crazy and so outlandish, it only works for anime. And my thing is that you don't need to make a live action of an anime to sort of legitimize it. Because people say, oh, that's all cartoony and something. We could never make a live action to really make it proper. I'm like, no, you don't need to do that stuff. So guys, this has been fun. We'll probably do this again next Sunday. Maybe we'll put this Saturday and Sunday. It depends, but just keep abreast of when this thing will be on. I'll be back here again answering all of your questions on the weekend on this Half Up Sorts. Peace out, stay true, and I'll see you guys on the other channel, the Football Odds channel, for that CL Talk. Peace out, stay true. Remember to like the video. Remember to subscribe. Like, subscribe. If you're new, subscribe. Hit the bell button. Peace out.